Channel borders, all hands man your battle stations.
Broadcasting live on WNN 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, iHeartRadio, and the World Wide Web. This is Make America Think Again with your Google blacklisted host, Tom Trento.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, Will Robinson. Danger.
Susie Gold. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Here it is, Friday. It's Friday, and there's so much.
You give me all this work. Susie Gold does the scheduling. She talks to all the guests and all this stuff, and comes in this morning. We need 2 hours. Hey, Beasley.
Yeah, we need
Beasley
2
Corporation. They own WNN.
Yeah.
Push whoever's after us. Push them aside. We need a second hour today.
Yeah, we have great guests. It's unbelievable what's been going on here.
All kinds of different things.
Yes, we do. And here it is. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. October 30th, with just 3 days. 3 days to the election.
That is amazing.
3 days. All this work and in making sure that our
4 days.
4 days till 4 days.
Depends on how you count it.
Yeah,
depends on is.
Yeah.
So 3-4 days, it's going to be over soon, and then it just starts.
Yes, but you know what is now we're really, really ramping up because there's so many people that have not voted yet, and we want to make sure that they get the information that is so important before they go to the polls. So to make sure that they vote for Donald Trump, and we're giving all the reasons, all the right reasons to vote for
Our closing
Trump.
arguments, we've been working on it all week. The first day we spoke with Peter Feynman. About the U.S. Constitution and what party, the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, most adheres to the policies and principles articulated in the Constitution. We voted Republicans do. Progressives want to progress past that. The second day of our closing argument, we had a very definitive, clear statement from one of the leading evangelical Christians in the world. He says, you've got to vote for life. You've got to vote to protect unborn children. That's it. That's the watershed issue. That's the crossing the Rubicon, whatever metaphor you want to use. Ronald Reagan had a three-legged stool. He said, you build a proper civilization, a culture, a country on its economic stability, its national security stability, and its social stability. We hit the economic stability. We're going to do some of that today. The social stability is respecting human life. National stability we're going to do on Monday. So we're moving along with our closing arguments. Today we have phenomenal stuff. We have an in-studio guest here on WNN. 1470 AM, 95.3, Tom Trento, 907 in the morning with Susie Gold. And we have Damon Rosen with Mykal Morrison. Why don't you introduce Mykal?
Yeah, Mykal Morrison. We're so happy to have you here with us. Mykal, for those who drive on I-95.
You're Susie. He's Damon over there.
Oh,
Damon.
Did you say Damon?
I said Damon.
Oh, Damon, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well,
We've created a monster.
We created a monster. Taking
said
over the
Susie.
show already. I want you to take over this. I need a break. Go ahead, Dave.
As many people this week or the last several days might have seen Mykal while driving up or down I-95, the busiest highway in the state of Florida. And there's a large black man that says, Joe says I ain't black. I voted Trump 2020. And Mykal's a friend of mine for, I think, about 6 years we know each other. If I went to Israel 4.5 years ago, we know each other about 6 years. Started talking politics 3-4 nights a week. Every time I'd walk Lucy, my dog, by the bar that he did security at, we'd end up having a discussion. It'd start out 5 minutes, and next thing you know, we're talking for an hour about politics, geopolitics, world events. And we stayed in pretty close contact while I was in Israel the last 4.5 years. Got together, and when he came by the studio a few days ago, we were talking about the black vote. And he had the cojones to put his likeness and name on a billboard that says, Joe says I ain't black. I voted Trump 2020. And here he is sitting next to me.
And if you're looking at theunitedwest.org, you can see the billboard that's up on I-95. Mykal, welcome to the show. Take a minute. Tell us about you. We're gonna talk to you a little bit later because we got guests lined up. But give us a little quick intro.
I'll have to apologize. This is a little early for me, so I'm not as sharp as people are accustomed to me being. But my name is Mykal Morrison, and I actually voted for the first time in my life on Tuesday.
All right. Open a bottle of good vino.
Right before I shot the picture that went up on the billboard.
For the billboard.
So, I mean, if you're going to go big.
Dude, this is a big week for you. Let me tell you, man.
Yeah, week of first.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've never been super political. More on the philosophical end, I'll talk about things, which is it's hard to escape politics whenever you have to deal with the left because everything's intersectional, everything intertwines, So people think I'm political, but I'm not. But let's just say, looking at the past 4 years and everything that's been going on, it actually compelled me to vote for the first time.
Wow. We got to have you back at some point because you raised about 5 or 6 questions that we have that would be fascinating for a show. But we'll get to you in a little bit. We have, let me see, what time is it, 10? We can do this. Well, it might be a little tight. Look, for all of you listening and watching out there, a little confusing today because we had some last minute changes and we're putting 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag, would you say?
Yeah, we are. But we're doing it.
Yeah,
we do it every day. We do it.
Did you get any response from our next guest? Because we may just push all of this. You know what?
Yeah, we're good. We got the messages out. So
okay.
We're good.
Let's go with David Webb. Yesterday, we had to videotape a segment with David Webb, well-known commentator, political radio talk show host. He's done a million different things. You've seen him on Fox Nation. But he has a show from 9 to noon, same time as ours. So he's a friend. He graciously agreed to let us tape him. We're going to show that in its entirety now. Fascinating interview. Here is David Webb, brilliant, articulate, wonderful guy, and a dear friend of ours.
To introduce our next guest, who's a media personality. He is the host of Reality Check. That's on Fox Nation. He's also a contributor on Fox News, a columnist on The Hill, and he's been entertaining and informing the public for decades. So we'd like to introduce David Webb. So nice to see you, David.
Nice to see you, and yet decades. Wow.
Decades, man. Time flies. He's on Sirius Radio.
He's on Sirius XM every day. And also Patriot. I guess it's Patriot 125, 125.
Right.
That's right.
So you can find him there. But right now we have him today. Tom Trento, your host here on WNN 1470, 95.3 with Susie Goldove here. And we have some guys in the control room with David. David, we've been pushing for 2 years. As you know, we're a counterterrorism educational organization. We go after the bad guys and defend the Constitution and support Israel. Put all that aside, for the past 2 years, we've been mobilizing 1,000,001 additional evangelical Christians in the state of Florida to vote for Donald Trump. He only won by 112,000 votes in 2016. We're 4 days away now. You know a lot about Florida, South Florida. What's the situation? 2 groups: the Christians in Florida. How do we get them out to vote? And then the black community, 3-4 million or so here in the state of Florida. We see interesting dynamics where black families raised as Christians. Many are leaning left, but a lot of black men are supporting the president. Help us understand this whole situation.
Well, first I'll separate them, but then there's an overlap. With the Christian vote, you've got a combination of, you've got the evangelicals in one part of the state. You've also got a Catholic contingent. When you think about Cuban refugees, Haitian refugees, Caribbean islanders, you have that mixture. And there are other denominations, obviously, but I'm looking at the bigger. You've got also a huge Puerto Rican contingent that's come into the state that is not as left as the left would like them to believe or wants you to believe. So those votes are there based on principles, the things that matter to a lot of people: security, education, family, your family security, your right to freedom, which is Christian doctrine. If you think about it, freedom to practice your religion, freedom to work with your neighbors, do whatever you want, to choose, freedom to choose. For the Black community, it goes back to the early days of the Trump administration. Ben Carson came down to Florida. I was with him. He was in Liberty Square. And that was the day he signed the first order to begin to rebuild what was Liberty Square and now Liberty City broader, because that's an area that was once walled off during the days of segregation. That was a moment. It's Frederica Wilson's district. But since then, the Opportunity Zone project, the entire expansion of that across the state of Florida has become increasingly important because it's produced results within the Black community. Look, I talked to some of these Black pastors. I talked to the people who work in those communities. Not all of them Black, by the way. They're just Americans looking to help those that have been left behind by people like Frederica Wilson, by the Democrat Party and others. And that resonates across the state, whether you go central to Orlando. If you go a little bit more east to Daytona, you're seeing a shift in population there. And the older population, by the way, I shouldn't forget them when you go to the West Coast, Naples and North Tampa, St. Pete, and work your way out to the Panhandle. They're also paying attention. So this state is complex. The vote, however, is really simple in some ways. Do you want the chance, the freedom to choose an economic future for yourself, education, safe communities, or do you want one that tells you what you should believe and that makes government the God or the greater dogmatic belief and an intrusion into your daily lives?
Well, makes sense to me. And what's going on then with Black men right now? And it's a significant portion. You are Black, aren't you?
That's according to me, according to Reva Martin.
Yeah,
I'm not,
almost 2 years ago that was. Look, you should have hung in there a little. When I heard that, we go, what? And I'm going, David, hang in there. You should have played her along for a little while. She accused him of white privilege, all this nonsense.
Yeah.
What's going on with Black men really resonating with Donald Trump right now?
Strength. In a simple word, strength. You know, just men in general, but especially in the Black community where Black men have been marginalized by the policies, all the various great society policies pushed out of the home. Like any man, what do you want? You want control of your life. You want to show that you can be a good man. You can be strong. You can support yourself, your family, whatever the family unit looks like. Donald Trump exudes strength for the common man to choose a path forward, whether you're on a construction site or in a Wall Street office, in one of those high rises in any part of Florida, no matter what it is, you want that strength. And Black men are not all poor, living in the hood, living in, the bad situations. They're not all homeless. They're businessmen. They're billionaires. They're millionaires. 100,000-aires, whatever other term applies. So the problem has been the Democrats saying to Black men, like they have to Blacks, you're all victims, you must live with this victimology, and we're going to keep fighting for reparations, which you're never going to get, by the way, nor should you. But they refuse to advance along with a society that has already advanced. And those are the things that are working. The administration's produced results. Dr. Carson and the Opportunity Zone Council have produced the amazing results in the data, and that shows across all communities. And that also says to Black men, when they look at other communities, hang on, we're all part of this community. We're interconnected, and we should all just have a chance to grow.
Yeah, we came across a friend of ours the other day who's a very interesting character, was in our studio. And Damon, you want to explain to David what we did? We got a billboard up in Miami. Explain the situation.
I have a friend I've known him about 6 years here in Lake Worth, and I moved to Israel about 4.5 years ago, just got back a few weeks ago, and we maintained contact the whole time. And he's a conservative, 39 years old, black guy, never voted in his life until a few days ago. And he voted for Donald J. Trump. And we put up a billboard on I-95. So if you're traveling north out of up into Broward County, we have them in 3 counties, actually, one in Dade, one in Broward, one in Palm Beach. And as you can see, it says, Joe says I ain't black. I voted Trump 2020. And apparently he's probably as black or possibly blacker than you.
I love it. I drive I-95. It's funny. I didn't think about it. I didn't make the connection till now, but I see it. I've been stuck in traffic on I-95, which gives you plenty of time to read billboards.
We have some Christian-oriented ones. We have going after Biden. You know, we're using the billboards, using the
Democrats
radio.
for Trump.
You had a question for David.
Yeah. So, David, so as we have been doing over the past 2 years and have really ramped up our speed with regard to reaching out to 1,000,001 Christians and also Jews to help them think again. Right behind me is a sign. It's letters that say MATA, Make America Think Again, as we're in a spiritual battle for America. But what message do you have to reach out to what message do you have to those 1,000,001 Christians and Jews that are still undecided about voting? And what message do you have then for them to help them make their decision?
You know, people will apply messages their own way based on their circumstance. So I tend to operate from just a very foundational point of view. We have Western Hellenic values that have been largely responsible for our society, which when combined with Judeo-Christian doctrine, right, the principles of freedom, the right to worship, the right to be who you are, and the right to choose in an ordered society a path for yourself and your family. Those are the things we want to preserve. If you look at where the Democrat Party has gone, they can call themselves Democratic Socialists. Bernie Sanders is a communist. AOC is a wannabe communist on her way. And all the others that are there, the radicals within the party, they've thrown out those doctrines to change it into government being the dogmatic, controlling part of your life. And if you want that freedom, then think about those Western Hellenic values that have built this society that has a promise in our Declaration of Independence that solidified that in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights that says that we are all individuals with individual rights, where those rights come from, and your right to choose, because we're a free society and a constitutional republic, what you do with those rights without violating the laws and the mores of our society. If you work from that point, then anyone can apply that and say, you know what, this is what I want to be. This is where I want to go. This is what I take my chance on. And importantly, because we all have points in our lives where we fail at something, the ability to get back up and do it, try again to do something with our lives. That's a key part of America. The dream is whatever you define it, but it's the ability to reset, adapt, and overcome when you run into a wall.
David Webb, you're helping make America think again. We appreciate it. We're going to let you go now. We know you're a busy guy. Tom Trento for Susie Gold, my observant Jewish co-host right here, for Damon and Mark, Mary up north. David Webb's with us. Give him a hand, everybody.
Thank
we'll
you
see
so
you.
much.
Thank you, guys.
On the other
Thanks,
side,
David.
We already did that.
the landslide here in Florida and the United States for Donald Trump. We'll see you.
Thank you.
All right. That was pretty funny,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that was great.
Tell
What a
everybody
great guy.
what just happened.
Oh, so here we are. You know, when you watch this, you feel like you're watching, even though we taped it yesterday, you know, we're watching it as if we're watching it for the first time, which isn't true. And Damon here is clapping for him.
Yeah, I said give him a hand yesterday, tape, and Damon and Mark are clapping. Somebody get them some coffee.
And I did the edit. It's really bad.
Mark's clapping to his own videotape
I was
segment.
clapping to my own edit. That's
Yeah, we're clapping for Mark's edit.
Unbelievable. All right. Anyway, 9:24 in the morning. Is our next guest with us or not?
Yes, Laurie is here.
Okay, good. Why don't you introduce? We're jammed this morning with so much stuff going on, but we're
Can
so
we
happy
clap
to
for
have
Laurie?
our next guest.
Yeah, good morning, Laurie. It's so good to have you again. Just by way of introduction, Laurie Cardoza-Moore is the founder and president of PJTN, which stands for Proclaiming Justice to the Nations, which means that what she does in her organization, what her team does, is to stop indoctrination of our children. After finding that and discovering that there were anti-Semitic and anti-Christian and anti-American content in children's textbooks.
No.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Shocker.
How are you
This
today,
is America,
Laurie?
right? Oh gosh, I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me back on this morning. This has been going on for a long time, but we found it about a decade ago with a textbook, a Pearson published textbook that had an anti-Semitic quote legitimizing Palestinians blowing themselves up in a Jerusalem restaurant because they were waging a war against Israeli government policies and army actions. So ironically, when that story went national, we started hearing from parents all over the country who made their kids bring their textbooks home, and they were finding similar content in their kids' textbooks. So not only the anti-Semitic, anti-American, anti-Judeo-Christian, but also Holocaust revisionist content. Imagine that. And here we are in Palm Beach County.
Yeah, and I know you're working heavily on making sure that our kids are educated accurately, factually, and that's all of the children, that the information that they're receiving from the textbooks is truly
historically accurate. That's right.
Accurate to
yes.
history. Yes, and I know that that's something that your organization has done such a great job doing. So, tell me about some current information about what's going on with your organization.
Well, we are calling for a rally Monday morning at the Palm Beach County School Board. They are going to conduct another hearing. There has been such an outcry about William Latson's reinstatement. And your audience probably remembers that in Boca Raton, the Spanish River High School, two and a half years ago, a statement was made to a parent by William Latson that he could not, as a district employee, school district employee, he can't say that the Holocaust is a factual or historical event.
I think what's really scary about that, Laurie, is that, does that mean, if the Holocaust is distorted and it's not as if it didn't occur? I mean, what's next? Slavery? What's next? That's
a great question.
Columbus didn't discover America. I mean, what's next?
Slavery? Is he going to say that slavery didn't exist? Because, look at what happened during the Civil War. There were people in the South who said this is about, states' rights. And then people in the North who said, no, this is about slavery. So is he going to recuse himself from making a statement about slavery too? This is appalling that this is going on, that he has the audacity to do this. But I have a question, because when he made a statement, I'm going to repeat his quote exactly. He said, I can't say the Holocaust is a factual, historical event because I am not in a position to do so as a school district employee, close quote. What I want to know, who told him to do this? Is this part of Palm Beach County's policy? Because it sounds like in his statement, he's a school district employee. Is this a policy? And we are calling on the Attorney General in Florida, Ashley Moody, to launch a full and thorough investigation into whether Latson violated the civil rights of the Jewish students on that campus, as well as the Palm Beach County administration, the school district. Are they violating the students' rights, the civil rights of these students, because they didn't adequately respond to this issue? It is 2.5 years later. This should have been a shut and close case immediately. They should have fired him. He never should have been reinstated. And the fact that they have the audacity to reinstate him is outrageous. under the Civil Rights Act, if the school district, if anybody, the education administration fails to protect the Jewish students, if the Jewish students on the campus do not feel safe, then their Civil Rights Act, according to Title VI, have been violated. This needs to be investigated because there are students now, former students, and a current student I just saw yesterday came out saying that the students, the Jewish students, don't feel safe on the campus. And certainly the parent who brought this issue to the fore, she won't come out publicly. Why? Because she doesn't feel safe. She is fearful for her children that are still in the education system. This has to be investigated. This is outrageous that this is going on. And that's why Monday morning, 9 a.m., I'm asking everybody across the state of Florida, because ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just Palm Beach County. This sets a very dangerous precedent because this can happen in any county in the state of Florida or any county USA, unless we the people get up and say something. And on top of that, the election day is Tuesday, the next day.
Yeah.
We need to be, those people in this district in Palm Beach County, they need to be contacting their city councilmen and their school board members, and they need to ask them, do you support reinstating William Latson? And if they say yes, then you need to go tell him no with your vote. You'll know who to vote.
And that's a great point because
Very good point.
Tuesday, our voices will be heard when we elect the officials that we feel represent us the best. And I thank you so much, Laurie, for all the great work you're doing on behalf of all children, all students.
No, she does amazing work.
Yeah, gain accurate information. You know, that's why they go to school, is get the facts. And your organization does a great job. What you did nationally, really, kudos to you and your entire team for the great work you're doing for Jews, for Christians, for the entire population.
For all America. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for all that you're doing and helping us get the message out. We are a team. You know, we're Americans, and we have to fight to defend this constitutional republic, and it starts by educating the next generation accurately.
One team, one fight.
Thank you so much for coming.
One team, one
I'm
fight.
curious if that same principle would have denied that the atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Yeah.
We have the evidence.
Same time period.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy, you guys.
Yep. Thank you so much, Laurie, for coming on. We look forward to you being a guest again in the future. So thank you.
Look forward to you joining me on Monday.
Yeah, we'll be on the air.
I'll be there with
but
you.
Damon will be there.
All right. God bless you, Damon. You guys keep up the good work. Keep drumming it up and letting people know we, the people, have to stand up and say, no, all politics is local. This is when your voice can be heard. God bless you all.
God bless you.
All right, 9:32 in the morning. Tom Trento here. Laurie Cardoza-Moore. She's an amazing lady, good friend of ours for a long time. WNN, actually WW. I don't want to say all those W's. Just one is
WW.
enough.
I think you just say WNN.
Yeah, WNN
right?
makes
That's
sense.
what
So you
everybody
can
knows
find
it
it.
as.
We're on the east side of the Mississippi. So WNN 1470 AM 95.3. I'm your host, Tom Trento, and Susie Gold is here, our co-host, doing a great job. We follow Steve Kane, longest running talk show in South Florida since 1977. And Brian Craig, a good friend of ours. We're on billboards together with you, Mykal. We're on billboard. We're all on billboards now. It's amazing. Thanks to the generosity of some folks, and we co-opted their billboards. We didn't steal them. Some people yesterday said, "You guys didn't steal them."
Yes, we stole them.
No,
We stole
they
them.
gave them to us. They let us
Being the
use them.
recipient of a donation is not stealing.
That's right. Yeah, they gave them to us. It worked
Even though
out
some
very,
people are
very
trying to steal
well.
the vote.
We are expecting an interesting guest. It was a very crazy schedule.
texting
We'll
right
see if
now.
he's going to make it. But if not, you think we have anything to do in the remaining time
There's
on
so
our
much
show?
to
Only
do.
like a million things. I was talking to a person yesterday about the issue that is going on Monday. A school teacher denying the
Principal.
a principal coming up with the inability to say it's a historic fact, the Holocaust. And I explained to this person who was in high school, in college actually, that our country has made a distinction, a legal distinction, a federally mandated distinction between people in elementary school up to high school versus college. In college, a professor has much more First Amendment right to say whatever they want to say. Their First Amendment rights are suppressed in high school and down. And the reasoning is the development and maturity of the brain of 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 18-year-old. Once you're in college, the teacher has an obligation to teach the subject matter, whatever that may be. But they also can tell you whatever they believe. And if they're communists and they're running a communist party, they could ask you to join. You're not allowed to do that at a high school level. You got to teach the subject matter, and your personal views have to remain your personal views. And this guy went over the line, and we're going to see what happens. But I think Palm Beach County has the highest number, one of the highest numbers of Jewish residents and evangelical Christians who have joined together on this. So it should be very interesting. Now, to see how technically capable we are. Damon, you're going to be there. I'm asking this live on the air, 9:35 in the morning on the 30th, October 30th.
Oh, great. Here comes Damon.
Mark, are we capable of having Damon zoom in on his iPhone and having live coverage of that event?
Are you asking me live on the air if I can actually do this without ever testing it, without ever seeing if it works?
And the answer is no. Okay, the answer is no.
It's a possibility, but
we'll test it before the show starts.
All right, after I test it, then we can announce it.
But Susie Gold, if we had more donations.
Yeah, we do. You know what? For us, I've said this before, and I can't say it enough, is that give
us some money.
Yeah, in order for us to continue doing what we're doing, in order for us to continue to keep the lights on, in order to keep our studio running.
Shut the lights.
We're all volunteers here. It's not like your monies are going towards salaries or anything. Your donations, your very generous donations, are going towards functioning of our studio, enabling us to be on air. There we the lights are. Do we pay the electric bill?
The lights are out.
I don't think we
it's the
paid the
30th.
Electric bill.
I didn't pay the bill yet. It's the
You
30th.
better pay the bill.
Oh man.
Oh my God. And also for the billboards to go up and all of the other creative efforts that we have. And that's what is it all for, is to make sure that America is educated, knows what's at stake this election. Then you'll say, well, how is my money? I'm going to send money. And the election is on Tuesday, and we're going to know who the winner is. It's not just about the election, but there's going to be an aftermath to this election, no matter who wins. We are still battling Marxism. We are still a country where, as we heard from Laurie Cardoza-Moore, where our textbooks need to be reevaluated, relooked at. What's the next generation? What information do they have? And how are they going to steer America? So we need to make sure that we share information that will help them be educated, so the next generation will make wise decisions in guiding the country forward. So please, bottom line, like Damon said, send your money. Please send your money. Send it today. Send it rapidly, so we can continue doing the good work we do.
You can go to our website, theunitedwest.org, and right on the top it says donate. I don't know if those messages are still coming up that this is dangerous when you sign in. If they are, please ignore them. Our site is not dangerous. It's completely safe. This is an effort by big tech to scare you away from our content, which is pro-America, pro-Israel, anti-Marxism, anti-Islamic jihad.
Well, if you're a liberal, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, that's right. If you're a liberal, it's very dangerous what we have. We tried to I'm reading some text here. I forgot what I was going to say. We tried to get the liberal mindset from somebody who holds it on our show. We've reached out to many people on the liberal side, the leftist side, and they say, oh, yeah, we'll come on. And then they Google the show or me or whatever. And then inevitably, invariably, they do not show up. If any of you are out there listening, if you're a liberal, you'd like to come on the show and articulate some sort of position, go to the website, theunitedwest.org. If you're not a maniac nutcase, we'll even let you on. We'll even let you on.
I'd like to make a distinction between liberal and leftist today. Liberal, if you want to go back to the 60s when the hippies were, taking over Berkeley and everything, they were liberal. They wanted to They believed in the freedom of speech. You could have discussions, debates, arguments. Today's leftists are not liberal. They do not want to hear our side of the argument. There's nothing liberal about it. It's straight, hard left. And in fact, I would argue that the right is more liberal than the left these days.
Yeah, that's a good point. Terminology is critically important. But Mykal, you did you live in the liberal leftist world pre-voting yesterday or the day before? Were you more conservative in your worldview? Where were you living when you got to the point of saying, I'm going to go vote for Donald Trump?
Well, I mean, I'm surrounded by liberals and leftists. Being the fact that I work in the art community, I'm around like music. So yeah, I would say that I'm more inundated with all of that all the time.
What do you do in the art community? I heard that you're a musician, and do you sing?
Yes, I'm a musician. I'm actually an international recording artist, not a successful one, but
not yet.
But yeah, I'm a musician, and I work at a live music venue. I'm the GM there, so we have all acts of every.
What do you sing? What
genre.
kind of music?
I do. My new project is called Midnight Fires, and it's outlaw country.
Let's go. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. A little acapella.
Yeah,
Come on. Hit us with a little acapella.
Yeah. One day I'll come back. I'll come back to the studio one day and
give us something right now.
Something right now.
Go ahead, do it.
Now you turn to wear the crown. Who'll be your hero now? Burden's yours to carry out as wheels I drive you down. I'm actually not the singer for this one.
That was nice.
I'm actually not the singer for this project. I actually play the guitar, and I do all the production for the music and stuff like that.
You got a good voice, though. You got a great voice.
Yeah, you should hear the lead singer for this project. He makes me look like a rank amateur.
Really?
Yeah.
Bring him in, and we got a guy with a harmonica.
Also, if anyone in the next couple days has a big rally that they need anyone the national anthem sung, I believe my man's available on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I'm tired of people butchering the national anthem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually I used to sing it for the city when they did the 4th of July down at the park. I used to sing it for them.
Give us a little tease. Give us a little tease. Live radio.
Oh, say does that star spangled and all you wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yeah.
It's a little early in the morning. I'm not warmed up. So.
All right, 9:42 in the morning. If you need somebody this weekend to do the national anthem, Mykal Morrison right here. He's on billboards. He's on live radio. He's all over the place. And we appreciate you coming in, definitely. What are your thoughts, your admonitions to folks who were in your situation, competent, intelligent people living their lives, but not really getting involved in the political process? Now you are by sharing your vote. What is your admonition to others?
Stop being scared. All the bullying is really what really made me vote and actually do what I did, is because people have just been unreasonably rude and just nasty to one another. And if you don't fall in lockstep with their with everything that they say, like as far as the far left, which is dominating the corporate and the media sphere, then you're ostracized, you're maligned, you're
called the Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, I've been called Nazi and white supremacist. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely like it.
Well, how about the time where you got told that you're not black, you need to go hang out with black people or something like that?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I was having a Facebook discussion, and one of my friends, she lives in Portland now, and we all know what a hotbed of
Sanity,
understanding and
sanity,
acceptance that place is. But yeah, she's so, you know, I'm just espousing my views, and they can't argue it to the contrary with any facts. So they just started casting aspersions. And she literally told me, as a white liberal lady, she said that I need to hang out with more black people so I can learn how to be more black. This is in print, ladies and gentlemen. This is in print on the internet. Yeah. So
and she's allowed to vote, and she's you know, unbelievable. But you get a lot of that with the whole Black Lives Matter insane Marxist movement. You got all these white liberals coming out, standing in front of police officers who are black, yelling at them, you know, for what they're doing, and yelling at black people who are conservatives. It is unbelievable.
I'll tell you, that image, that video of the white person going after the black cop was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, not in a movie, not staged. Like that was truly sick.
You F in this, F you, F, and the cops are standing there like, it was a beautiful image of the decline of Western civilization. It's right here in wherever it was, Portland or Kenosha or New York.
That was either Portland or Seattle.
Yeah, one of those places.
It's infuriating when I see that, because I mean, I was born, raised in the hood, so to speak. I was born in Miami, Carroll City, raised in Riviera Beach in West Palm Beach.
You got the credit. You got street cred.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm no stranger to what goes on, and I'm not exceptional by any means, but I mean, I do well for myself. Never had to be involved with the law, you know, negatively, and it's just the thing that irks me the most is that people, they put these stereotypes to this, or this, you know, this victimhood on me, like, oh, you're black, you need help. It's like, no, that's insulting. I don't need anyone's help. All I have to do is live a good life and be the best I can towards everyone else, and that's it. You know,
he works 2-3 jobs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, typically, when someone's in growing up in the hood, or in a disadvantaged area, or even, you know, tough neighborhoods. I grew up in some tough neighborhoods in New Jersey. There's usually some sort of parental or grandparental influence that will smack your butt and smack you around and keep you online. What influence did you have growing up as a kid to keep you on the straight and narrow?
Single mom. She worked a lot, very hardworking lady. I don't know. It's just, I guess I was just aware that poverty is not an excuse for a lack of morality. Like, just because you're poor, that doesn't mean you have to victimize others and commit crimes.
A novel thought, huh?
Wow.
What about the role of a belief or an understanding of God or greater power?
Christianity is the main background, and but I'm not I wouldn't say I'm a devout Christian. I probably lead a better life than most Christians that go to church every week, but yeah, Christian faith is where my morals stem from.
Very interesting. All right,
but you wear a what's your ring? You got
it's a Jerusalem cross.
Jerusalem cross. You're talking our language here.
Yeah.
You're talking our language. Speaking of Jerusalem,
Tom was supposed to get that tattoo.
I know,
in Israel,
all of us.
And he sissied out.
We were going to do it.
Really?
We were there in 17
I'll get one.
for the 50th. It was something. The 70th year, whatever. 70 years.
I think it was the 50th anniversary of the 6-Day War.
Oh,
yeah.
Right? It was 50 years of the liberation.
But we were going to get, was it 50 or 70? We were going to get.
No, 70 is the state of Israel. It was had to be 2017.
Yeah,
would have been 50
17
years since the liberation of Jerusalem in the 67.
We were walking by in the old city, the 1,000-year-old tattoo place, 4 or 5 of us. And he goes, let's go in. And we were debating it, but it would have taken too much time. And we went and flew our drone over
I got 3 tattoos at that place. Speaking of Jerusalem, 2 of our Jexit ladies,
right.
I think, do you have that stuff I sent you, Mark? from the rally yesterday that I texted to you like 4 hours ago?
When we weren't
or,
awake?
Or 2 minutes ago? It was either 4 hours ago or 2 minutes ago, 9:49.
There's a lot going on.
I love when you just throw it to me in the middle of the show.
And we don't have the TriCaster anymore when it was so much easier, when I could actually
I know where you
participate
could
in
do this stuff. I know. But
we need money for a TriCaster. Come on.
I don't
We
know.
need those donations.
Would you want a TriCaster again, Mark, or no?
If I had people around it, yes. If I had someone around it, yes.
Okay, well, that's $25,000 for that sucker.
David,
So,
we need $75,000
get
till
through
the
the
end
rest
of the year, till December 31st.
that doesn't include a TriCaster.
Yeah.
TriCaster is a magical tool in the studio that takes us from one level to another level and has two operators.
It would
Professional
be nice to
TV
take
switching equipment.
call-ins too, but we don't have the equipment.
But
for
we had
that.
two of our Jewish ladies, Czechs ladies, with WNN press passes at the rally in Tampa, Florida yesterday. They drove from here 4 hours to Tampa, got in with the press passes, and they sent us back a couple of pictures and a little piece of cool video of the president talking about some of the accomplishments. But we got people all over the place. And when Mark waves to me, then I'll stop talking.
I'll tell you,
and
if Michelle was driving, it didn't take 4 hours.
no, Michelle didn't make it. It was Sophia and
okay.
Karen. Michelle was, I don't know where Michelle was, but she was doing something very important, I'm sure. And
Michelle is the president and founder of Jexit.
I hear music. I hear rally music. Look, ladies and gentlemen, 9:50 in the morning is very important what I'm going to say before we do this. I was thinking about this. Donald Trump is a 74-year-old man. He's about 70, 60 pounds overweight.
With incredible energy.
That dude's output is ridiculous.
He had the he had the hang on.
We have made America strong again.
I don't see it.
We have made America proud again.
That was it.
That one.
Wow.
Okay. Well, we had video on that, but the video didn't make it. But the guy yelling and screaming there had the Wuhan flu, Wuhan disease.
Sweet and sour
Just
sniffles.
about 3 weeks ago, I guess.
Recovered. And if you look at his itinerary, where he's going, just think of this. You got to get up. You got to get washed. You got to take a shower. You got to shave. You got to do all that.
You got to
gotta
wear a suit every
You got to
minute.
put a suit on. You got to go to the bathroom a couple of times. You got to walk. Got to get in the airplane. You got a million people. And all of his cabinet saying, we got a problem with Turkey. Oh, there's something going on over here in Asia. The Chinese are trying to invade. All this stuff is hitting him. He's making decisions. He's running the country.
Right.
And now he's trying to get people mobilized to get out and vote for him. And he gets in and off a plane, and he doesn't speak for 2 minutes. He speaks for 40, 50, 60, 70 minutes at the same
Non-stop.
intonation, the same power. His voice doesn't go out. I don't know how that happens. Maybe he's got all kinds of stuff he's taking when he goes in there. He doesn't drink, and he's like an automaton. He's like a machine over against Joe Biden, who's sick and frail, and he tries to run to make you think he's okay. He gets up there, he rambles, he puts the glasses on to hide his eyes so he it doesn't look like he's reading the prompter. You got to make a decision, ladies and gentlemen, in 4 days, which individual has the physical stamina to do the job. And we know the answer. Kamala Harris. She's the one that's going to take over the job. It's very simple.
Kamala.
Yeah. Whatever her name is. What is the right pronunciation?
Cackling. Kamala.
Kamala, but she pronounces herself Kamala.
Kamala?
She pronounces it Kamala.
All right, well, it's very, very clear that either we're going to have Joe Biden removed, and for you who are undecided right now, you're going to vote for a person who's going to be removed by its own administration to put a Marxist in there. That's what you want to do, really? Or it's going to be like some of the European countries where they have a president or a monarch and then a prime minister, where the prime minister really runs the show, but the president or the monarch waves to everybody and goes to the funerals and the birthdays. Yeah.
And do you want to be wearing your what would we call it today? The Biden barrier and the
mask, the Biden barrier, or the Fauci field.
Well,
the Fauci field or the Fauci field on your face.
I did a little analysis of the COVID situation in Florida. We have 800,000 people in Florida have gotten infected with it. It's a serious disease. 800,000.
And 85% of them had masks on.
Well, that's another factor.
And the
20,000,
rest were in a nursing home.
roughly today, 20,000, we'll use that figure, have died. So out of 800,000, 20,000, what?
16,000.
Yeah, I'm using very
Okay.
simple numbers. That's 2.5%
Mhm.
of the people that got it died. All right. Now, of the 20,000, at least 10,000 didn't die of COVID. We know this. They died of something else, and they had
And they
COVID.
had COVID.
Okay, so
yeah.
now we're down to like 1.5%. Of that, 80% are people over, Jennifer told us, over 80 years old. So now we're down to, if you're under 70 and you're healthy, you've got less than 1% chance of dying. You could die. You can die going
If
out
you get
driving
it.
in a car. But
Could die from
factually in Florida,
influenza.
I was in traffic on I-95. Joe Biden wants to shut this down. What are the ramifications of closing a state again? The economic impact, the psychological impact. It's insane.
It's like
Alcohol
Donald Trump
abuse.
said. He said, the debates. If you close the country, there's not going to be a country.
Not going to be a country.
And the whole alcohol abuse, drug abuse,
All
all the
of
other
those-
things, all those things come into factor in play too. It's ridiculous.
All of us here go to events, and we're all very careful. We don't, even in here, we're careful. We don't hug and kiss people. We're all careful.
Speak for yourself.
If you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. I wear it at times going in the stores. I'm very, very careful. But we're at war. We're at war with a germ, with a virus, which is
And this
inorganic.
isn't just
by
the
way.
United States. This is the entire world.
And you don't
It's still
stop when
all
you're at
Trump's
war.
fault. Globally, it's Trump's fault.
Globally.
And why don't we go to war on highway safety? If you really want to start getting into reality, and then if you want to start getting into health and hygiene, you can go down that in general, but this is all political. Everybody knows it's
totally
political. It's
at
totally
this
political.
point. Yeah, it's totally political to her. How do you know? What's the lead story on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all of them? The lead thing.
Bobolinsky, right?
COVID,
Bobolinsky's the
COVID,
lead
COVID,
story.
COVID. Yeah,
Brainwashing.
I mean, I'm still more likely to die from black on black crime than COVID.
well, yeah, that's a whole nother topic. We got to have you back, definitely. Well, Susie, what do you want to do? We got a minute left with this week, and
I think it's been a great week. We talk about closing arguments, and we also talk about, closing the week out and closing on a positive note. For those of us that do celebrate the Shabbat, for Jewish people that are observant, I want you to know that in Israel, and those that have a close connection with Israel and appreciate the close relationship the United States has with Israel, it has come out from Israel, from chief rabbis, and also great Kabbalists, that for those that do celebrate Shabbos, bring it in 10 minutes earlier. We celebrate Shabbat at sundown. Bring it in 10 minutes earlier, and there's a great strength that comes from that by taking on the obligations of Shabbat sooner than is what is really required. So bring it in, believe it is about 6:15 would be 10 minutes earlier, and light your candles, and let's pray for Donald Trump, for victory for Donald Trump.
wow. Shabbat Shalom. That's great. And the clocks change on Sunday.
Oy.
Leap backward, leap sideways, jump ahead, spring
and make
forward,
your
whatever
donations.
it is.
Remember to tithe,
That's right.
everybody. Tithe now.
All right, we'll see you on Monday. Big day Monday.